Hence, poetry is something more philosophic and of graver import than history, since its statements are rather of the nature of universals, whereas those of history are singulars, meaning history actually has always been particular, relative, finite in itself, and also in terms of what it is able to think, say, do, teach, achieve, and become in its entirety, with all of its character, significance, morality. It does not go much because it is based on particulars, relatives, finitudes in its very fundamentals in one way or another. But poetry, on the other hand, is something that has always been inherently and its very composition and combination, natural, intrinsic, and boundless, ethereal all the time. It flows and moves beyond the limitations of space, time, morality, societal barriers, etc. And it is also philosophic, most importantly. And that is what makes poetry one of the most distinct, powerful, important subjects in the world in one way or another. So, obviously, history is important, but more important and virtuous, moral, sovereign is poetry. And it has always been that way, and there's nothing we can do about it because poetry speaks about almost everything of the universe, nature, imagination, and human psyche in just a few stanzas or lines. But history just goes on and on because it is particular, relative, finite, and is based on the accumulation and acquisition of a great deal of knowledge and data collection and information gathering, and not on the satisfaction of philosophical goals or our ambitions, desires, and we cannot satisfy our own qualities and conditions and circumstances either if we're always dependent upon history. But if we rely upon poetry, then we can really learn a lot, not about just external circumstances, outside conditions, but also regarding ourselves, about our own psyche, actions, and qualities, and also about our shortcomings, deficiencies, disadvantages, and also our qualities, abilities, talents. Everything is exposed and revealed in and by poetry. But for that to happen, we had to engage in poetry. We had to believe in poetry in one way or another. Otherwise, we had to choose history. History again is going to land us in the trouble of limited knowledge and particular data collection. And that is very annoying. But poetry, on the other hand, has more character, authenticity, and obviously agency, worth than history. But then again, history is also important for the acknowledgement, discovery, exploration of the past, for the knowing of the events. But poetry is